Hey everybody, Casey here. Just wanted to give you a quick reminder before we start the show off, and that's that we do more than just this podcast, so why don't you head on over to our YouTube channel, Groupcast Nation, and subscribe, where you'll find a bunch of different videos from greatest hits animations, Two Guys Go on Adventures, and many, many more things that we have in the works. Also, if you have any questions or comments, you can email us at groupcastnation@gmail.com, or you can follow us on Twitter and tweet us at groupcastnation. You can also use these two platforms to tell us about any sort of business or project you may be working on, and we'll give it an ad read at the beginning of the show. And don't worry, we'll put the links to these and more down in the links.
Ladies and gentlemen, step right up, step right up. Beyond the threshold of this theme song lies the greatest show you've ever heard. A podcast where the topic is everything our fine specimens can think of. That's right, sit on down and have yourselves a listen to Groupcast. At center stage is Casey, creator of the show and part-time bomb enthusiast.
I'm gonna straight up snort some Lennon free.
On a soapbox somewhere in the hedge maze is Lennon, the comedian with a heart made of video games.
I'm gonna inject me some Justin Rolls.
Getting a donut in the break room is Rolls, a man who can lift 2 beer cans at once and not spill them. Sometimes.
And I'm gonna drink me some Casey Coulter.
Now, without further ado, let the show begin!
Points for the weirdest intro
Welcome
we've
to
ever
the
had.
gayest episode of Groupcast we have ever had
It
ever.
all depends on how you look at it.
Right.
It's been one of those days.
It's been a long
Been
day.
a long
It was a long
certainly
day.
has.
It was a long day.
It made us all sit in the convention center for
London
like 6
doesn't make us
hours.
do shit.
I would argue not make you do it, but that's exactly what happened.
And the thing is, none of us knew exactly how many rounds there were going to be, right?
Yeah.
Right. We went to a
Pre-release.
mall for a pre-release for the new pack for Magic the Gathering, and it involved everybody gets 6 packs, makes their deck out of those 6 packs, and then everybody plays each other, and whoever does the best stuff gets stuff.
Yep.
So it was
It was fun.
started at noon,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we left at 7
Yeah.
to play a total of 6 different best of 3s.
Right.
And they made those very, very long rounds.
They were 45 minutes apiece. I did not expect every match to go the full 45.
Yeah, they totally did
slightest.
too.
A lot of them didn't.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
but there was
there were always like 2
there
or
were always
3
like 2 or 3 that went the whole
lasted
thing.
that
Well,
long.
that's what I'm saying.
But of
I
all the
didn't,
matchups,
I didn't
like,
think that
they're
in
releasing-
every single round of people playing each other, some matches would go the full 45.
Yeah.
I
There
would
were, like,
not thought that.
What would you say the maximum? There were like around 15 to 20 pairings at maximum.
I was told they had 45 people sign up.
So that would break down 45
22.
to 22. and then
22.
There's a girl who
players.
cried her way in too. So
Right.
that-
She was 45.
yeah.
Yeah. She was a little weird.
Which one?
That was the one that we talked
When you
to.
played.
Oh, the My Little Pony girl.
Yes, that one. Yes, that's the
That
one.
alone doesn't make it weird.
know,
But
right?
the fact that she like, 'cause I was playing the George at the time.
Yeah. The owner of the store. Who I agree with. I'm going to use
He's a way
what we
too
have
nice
put
guy.
together.
Yeah, to visualize
he
this guy.
is, what did we call him? Weird Stephen Wright.
Or
as a
just Weird
combination
Steven.
of Weird Stephen. I like that.
Steven!
It's a combination of Stephen Wright and Weird Al
That's a
put
good
together in the chillest motherfucker to
Yeah.
ever own a shop.
Yeah. And I mean, they asked, they're like, oh, what's the ruling on this going to be? It's
Yeah.
okay. Well, tell her she's in, but she's lost the first round, which is fair.
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
the same time, I'd have been like, show up at noon.
Right.
It's noon on
And
a Saturday.
If
Noon o'clock.
And if there's 44 people signed up at the time, and it's incredibly competitive as to who makes
Yeah.
it, showing up late and taking a loss
Yeah.
is really rough.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
You'd
She
be
didn't
better
seem to
off
care
just-
all that much, though.
You'd be better off just going to like another store's thing tomorrow. And
Yeah,
just
exactly.
playing
The other
She
comic
made-
store across the way is doing
Yeah.
it
She
tomorrow.
made me feel guilty, though, sort of, because when I was
That's what
playing,
women do, Casey.
she's like,
That's the ruse.
yeah. She was like, yeah, this is like my only chance to, talk.
Place.
No,
to
talk.
talk. I gathered that,
I don't-
actually, yeah.
I don't really
You should hook her up with
socialize
Ski Crazed Teddy.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know that I'll ever get it right the first round through. I say it.
Nobody can. I mean,
Yeah.
we had hypothetical Teddy the one time.
It's Tiger. It's just Tiger.
We've got $50.01 donation from Captain MacGuffin, who says, like, really?
It's clearly an M. An M and a G is not...
It's not there.
No, it's not confusable in any way.
If you're
However,
going to make it confusable.
to further
Confusable.
elaborate on things.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Now, I don't get me wrong. I enjoyed every single game.
Yeah, uh-huh.
But when you would play and then your game would be over way early,
Ooh, that was
it
the
didn't
worst.
last all the time, and you would
Yeah.
sit there for like up to 30 minutes. Normally we talk to each other or whatever.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Or floated around and watched each other's games.
Yeah.
But came 5:30, 6 o'clock, and me and Casey are like, let's get the fuck out.
Yeah, I can understand that. But I was still
You were
somewhat
still
in the
doing.
running.
Yeah.
What was everybody's record in the end?
2 and 4.
2 and 4?
I don't want to talk about it. I
Was
did
it
1 and
1
5.
and 5. I did 3, 2, and 1. Oh, the record would show 2, 3, and 1.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I made a deal with the guy I played in the last game. Because
With
he had
Satan.
if he had won, he had a chance to actually place and get stuff.
Yeah.
So he's like, if we write down that I won, if I end up placing, I'll give you one of the packs. I'm like, deal. Because I was like just outside of being
Well,
able to
then
get stuff.
the Wizards of the Coast, fucking Fair Game Commission comes down and cracks down
There's
on your
lightning
ass.
bolts outside that rain down. Halt, evildoer!
Who dares
Gandalf comes
break
in.
our rules?
They exist for a reason. Listen, you can't have breakfast at 10:31. You can't have lunch at...
Except
At
that's a thing now.
10:29.
You can have breakfast all day now.
There are reasons
That's
that
true.
rules exist.
How have we never talked about this?
I
It's
don't
been
know.
like a
Yeah.
month. All day breakfast at McDonald's. Finally said
Not
the
even-
entire world.
Yeah.
Not even that. It's
Everybody loves
I eat
breakfast,
breakfast
so
all
much.
yeah, it's the
It's
best
the
meal
best.
of the day.
Yeah, not only
Yeah.
is it the most
Not
important, it's
even
the
brunch.
best.
Yeah.
Brunch can suck.
It's
Yeah, screw
breakfast
brunch.
sandwiches.
Yes,
That are
absolutely.
incredible. Somebody managed to take the best things about breakfast and put it
Eggs and
between 2
sausages.
slices of bread.
And they got
Or
various
biscuits.
styles, like
Or
sheets
biscuits.
of various styles
Or
of eggs.
bagels.
Or croissants.
Or, which is like a fancy bagel.
Well,
You can
yeah.
have
It's a French bagel. It
It's-
has to
it's a-
sound fancy.
it's
It's
a-
fancy.
it's a
still
Fraggle.
fucking bagel.
Yeah.
It's a
croissant.
Fraggle. Which, down at Fraggle Rock.
Anyway,
Damn it. Oh,
you can get egg whites. You can get the
go on.
scrambled egg.
I like
You
how we're
can
getting
get-
the late night menu.
I'm intrigued. Go on.
You can
We
get,
can get-
over easy on it.
I have to do the
How
ASMR
easy?
things.
How easy is it?
Very.
I gotta do the ASMR thing where it's like,
On today's menu, we have egg whites.
I love those egg whites.
We have a toast.
A toast. We have a toast to egg whites,
it sounded horrible on the
which we all know is the best part of the egg, right? Said the racist breakfast goer.
The best meal
Like
of the day.
pancakes.
Best meal of the day. Best, easily. I think we can all agree. Fuck lunch. Fuck lunch, right? Has anyone on NPR ever said fuck? Can we start that? Can we start that? Can we?
No, I don't know why even people
Fuck.
why people even listen to NPR.
Can we?
Bullshit.
Can we?
It's bullshit of the highest caliber.
Can we set an actual trend to really seriously campaign for a show on NPR? It's gonna be like an actual. The show has a theme to it, and we're gonna really push for it, and we're gonna get support until NPR finally agrees with us, and we come on the air for the first time and go, "Fuck," and then that's shut down the broadcast. That's all we came here for.
I mean,
Coming up on This American Life, we
NPR
shame everyone.
guys, stop! NPR sucks. I had to listen to that shit every day when I went to Votech in high school.
Really?
You're feeding
Yeah.
the fire.
Yeah,
Is
that's-
that one of your classes? Because that's the only way I can see you listening to NPR.
no, it was in the drafting and design class. The guy played in the
okay.
background. And I was like,
Oh, good
it's all.
God!
I mean, some of it's interesting to listen to, but then they'll interview something that has nothing to do with anything. Like if they're talking political or something, like, oh, that's interesting. And then they're like, today we're going to speak to Mr. I was going to say Tom Jones, but that's a guy. We're going to speak.
It's probably multiple guys, honestly.
We're going to speak to Mr. Michael.
It's not unusual.
We're going to speak to Mr. Michael Thompson about his business baking bread. Mr. Thompson. And you're like, I don't want to fucking hear that.
Like,
it's like everything bad
like
about
ABC
podcasts
Sunday
wrapped into
morning.
one.
Well, I grow my own yeast.
I don't think you grow yeast.
And really, that's the most important step to making bread, is growing your own yeast.
I should
We
know.
stop.
I use my wife. I know.
Oh my god! Just take a cheese grater and just
It's like everything.
And that's how I started Vagina Loaf Industries.
It's like everything bad about podcasts. Where it's
what, this podcast right here? That is
Can we
everything.
call this episode Vagina Loaf Industries?
No.
it's
I usually tend to stay away from titles that have swearing in them.
That's
Just
that's not a
because.
swear word.
You know what I mean.
Can I
No
quote
rolls.
comedian
It's
Tom-
loaf. You can't say loaf.
You
Can I
can't.
quote comedian Tom Papa?
You know what we should do? We should petition to get an NPR show and really push it, and then when we get on the air, we go loaf, and then we're done, and that's it, and they'll never have us again.
Quote comedian Tom Papa. It doesn't. Vagina doesn't even sound like. It sounds like something you call in sick to work with. I've got vagina. It's all over my face.
Whose joke was that?
Tom Papa.
I like him.
great.
He's very funny.
Tompa.
But
He's like this with Seinfeld, right?
Yeah.
I thought so.
the thing with
Visual.
People know what he's like this with person X is, though, right?
I don't know, do they? How stupid
He's
is our
scissoring
audience?
with Jerry Seinfeld. I don't know how it works. It's a Seinfeld thing. He knows.
I mean, NPR. My beef against it is it's everything.
You got that NPR beef.
It's everything wrong with podcasts. It's like, okay, it's not a comedian. It's not a guy who's an expert in his field. You're just a reporter talking to somebody about something.
Listen, I heard the interview with Vagina Loaf Industries. That was a quality interview.
Well, everyone will hit occasionally.
Every one of their shows is just like Sunday morning on
Right,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, where it's just
That's
a
my
dude in a
beef.
bow tie being like, and today we're going to be talking to a farmer who grows
wants Face the
incredibly
Nation.
large pumpkins.
What is your relationship with Vagina Loaf Industries?
Well, we formed a conglomerate back in '97.
I heard his wife did too.
Like,
See, conglomerate should be what the name of the vagina should be, because that sounds
I'm gonna
much
get us back to
dirtier.
this magic story at some point.
Come here, come here, baby. I'm gonna pound that conglomerate.
There's our title. I'm gonna pound that conglomerate.
Anyway,
But no, seriously though, conglomerate sounds much dirtier than vagina.
anyway,
It's the glom. I think that does it.
Just call it the glom.
It's also the
There's a
k at the beginning,
There's
because
a
if
move.
German has taught us anything, is that words with k sound violent and
So it should be
and
like
angry.
conglomerate.
Conglomerate. It's the
whole
drunkest sounding. It's the drunkest sounding word ever.
I like how we went from.
I want to get back to that at some point.
I like how we went from back. And now the news. To, oh god, conglomerate. Isn't that funny?
I'm sorry. Have you ever listened to this podcast?
Right.
Yeah, we really are all over the place.
So we were ready to leave.
What? Oh,
Oh,
magic!
we're back
Magic,
on.
yeah.
Oh my god, magic!
And
Like,
Lennon-
13 minutes
and
ago.
the guy did place, and I did get my pack. which
And
was
Lennon was very hurtful. Some very hurtful things.
Well, I brought
Let's
up.
not tell the story.
No, I'm absolutely going to tell the story.
Why?
Fuck yourself. It was the because
I can tell tons of stories
you don't
about
want
you
to
being
hear
a
the
dick.
story because you sound like the villain in the story, in which you were, but we've all moved past it. It doesn't mean we can't talk about the
you
story.
clearly haven't if you're bringing it up still.
I have moved past it. But today was very similar to that, and I wanted to point out what you're doing is very
this couples
similar to
therapy
this.
that we're having here?
It is.
It might as well be.
Yes, we're having couples therapy, and then we're
I
going
want
to
a
Vagina
divorce.
Loaf.
She wants me to stay. She wants me to stay at the card game.
Why would
And
you
look at
She's a man-eater, Rolls. She's a man-eater.
And look at wooden miniatures. And I want to go out and watch fucking Penn State football. I don't know what's going on.
And what's worse, Lennon
Well,
just doesn't look at me during.
What you should do is compromise and watch her make Penn State miniatures.
This week on NPR.
A man who makes Penn State miniatures.
We're going to get sued by NPR.
This week on NPR.
Wait, public radio. They can't.
This week on NPR, Couples Therapy, welcome to the show. Fuck. Anyway, so
I thought she was a woman. She has a dick between her legs, Jerry.
Mr. Costanza, please calm down.
Jerry.
Now, here's the story. My very first comedy show that I ever did was in Westchester, which is like 2.5 hour drive.
Your first paying
Just
show.
outside of
I
Philly.
get to that point. I figured out how I wanted to describe this. I get to that point. Yes, it was not only my first actual show, it was my first paying show, which was fantastic.
What day did it take place on, though?
Probably Saturday. I imagine it was
I can tell you
I
the
don't
exact
think it was
date
a
because
Saturday.
I was still butthurt about
I
it.
have the flyer, so we can check it out. No, do
Okay.
I have the flyer to that one?
I
don't
thought
know
it
if
was like a
flyer.
Thursday or something.
I don't recall, honestly. I
That
don't
might have
remember
been my
that much.
major gripe with it, honestly.
I
why
can't say
I
one way or
griped,
I
you know
can't
what
say
I'm
one
saying?
way or another about it. So
Major
anyway,
Gripe is like
I
my
had this-
favorite general.
he's up there. He's up there
pretty
with
good.
General Malaise,
Yeah.
I always like
which
General.
is also another good name for the vagina.
I always like General
Malaise.
General Disarray was always my.
Yeah.
His office is cluttered as shit.
Anyway, don't try and distract me from this story.
How funny your
It
story
was my
was.
first paying show. There was like 5 or 6 comedians, and I was like number 2.
Westchester.
Yes, it was in Westchester. The car ride was Rolls. It was Eric. It was my friend Matt, and it was me driving all the way up to this show. It was Matt, right? That's who it was.
Yeah,
That was
Matt's
the other
my
person?
friend too. He's
Oh no,
not-
I was making sure that was the other person.
Yeah,
I
it was
couldn't-
Matt.
Wow, he didn't
Because we
cancel?
yelled at.
Yeah,
Because
he actually
we yelled at. We were going to yell out the window at a guy who was doing the street
that's
parkour
right.
shit.
Yeah, I kept
And
telling.
you were like,
I had to keep
"Don't-
telling
don't
Matt and
do
Rolls,
it."
you roll up this fucking window right now, because they were gonna yell like, "Bang out the window." We got, no, let's not do that.
We're in the greater Philadelphia area.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck.
So we went to the show, and it was a pretty cool place. And it was
Yeah.
like a 2-story
Stantonelle.
kind of place. Yes, Stantonelle was on there. Well, that was part of the problem, I think, was the fact that he went probably about 5-10 minutes over his time. I don't know if he was just the headliner for the night,
Right.
but he seemed to go way long, as did the person before him. But it started with you, Rolls, like right after I was done on stage. And I was second out of 6 or however many there were, where Rolls is sitting on his couch going, I just want to go home. Like, I'm just,
I was in a bad place. I
Rolls,
forget what
give me
happened.
the that you do. Thanks. Okay.
I know how to do it. Oh.
Fuck. Anyway, so I was more and more annoyed as the show. That was pretty close. Yeah, to what I was thinking of. I was just more and more annoyed as the show went on because like every comedian, like 3 or 4 times in a set, just aren't they done yet? How many are after this guy? Oh, that wasn't close to the sound, but you guys get the point.
I don't think I said it that bad.
It was pretty rough, though.
Okay.
That I was pissed. I was pissed. I'm like, I'm ready for this show to end, so he'll shut the fuck up. And as soon as the last guy walked off stage, I just looked at you and I pointed at you and said, get the fucking car. and we left, and I found out later from Shane Gillis, the guy who put the show together, he said, we only paid like $25. Where were you? And I'm like, son of a bitch. But we had worked out a payment system after the time.
I
and
clearly
it was
bought
fine.
you way more than $25.
Actually, I
for the
believe
food.
I believe we dealed 50 because you're a terrible negotiator, evidently. Where it's like you owe me $50 worth of stuff, and whatever. It worked out. But today you were doing that around after like game 4. You're like, do we have to stick
was
around?
like 5
and I know
hours later,
you
though.
generally were asking and not whining. Do we have to stick around for the whole
Right.
thing? And I was like, I have a chance at placing yet. Let's stick around and see what happens.
At one point, I just walked over and was like, hey, Lennon, you like Time Crisis? I have an arcade here,
Did you want to go so badly?
I brought it up, and I said,
okay.
they have time crisis.
So you kind of wavered, Casey, between the two sides, either way about staying or going.
He was ready to go before I was, I think.
well, when you're 1 and 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much what
I'm surprised because your deck was very concise.
It was,
I thought
but I'm not good at Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
So even if I have a good deck, I'm not gonna do very well with it.
Yeah, that's tough.
But it's still fun.
Yeah.
It's a game.
My only beef with it, really, is it's like, I would like to play the deck that I spent time and
Of course.
money
Right.
building.
But the format that you play, everybody has spent way more money and way more time, and you will get booked.
That's fine.
You will get.
Booked.
fucked.
You will get fucked. Yeah, it's a tough environment to thrive in. And that's why drafts and pre-releases like this are so good for everybody, because everyone's on an even playing field.
Right.
You know? That's why it works, and that's why I like going, honestly.
Fun.
Although
it was
until I
fun
finish
time.
this deck that I'm working on, that's going to be so good when it's done.
Which one is the... Oh, this is
The standard deck, which is the hardest format to build because it's only like so many of the newest sets.
Yeah.
And it changes all the time. So you got to stay on top of it.
I
And
think
you got to
the
regularly
Theros
put a lot
block
of
is out
money
now,
into
right?
it. It's going to be out once the pack is officially out for sale on the 2nd, October 2nd. So that's when my deck becomes official standard, and it's going to be finished by the time that happens, which is great. I'm very pleased. I was so surprised that Peter Griffin II, which is kind of the nickname for one dude because he looks like fucking Peter Griffin.
He sure does.
He traded me just about everything I needed for this deck, which was fucking great. Because I was so, like, I don't know how long this is going to take.
You mentioned this before, and I agree. Like,
Yeah.
We don't want to make fun of him.
He's so
but
cool.
He's such a cool guy, but he looks like
But
fucking
if
Peter
I
Griffin.
told you his name in, like, oh yeah, Chris, blah, 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 you would probably, for at least a second, go, I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
You might figure it out, but if I said, fucking Peter Griffin over here, has got fucking this thing, you'd be like,
Also, at one
Peter Griffin.
At one point, Rolls remarked that, like, he was not nearly the fattest
You were
dude.
not the fattest man that made you uncomfortable.
No, that's not even the top 5. That's what made me uncomfortable.
I would agree.
I would agree also. I like how we tend to go to these events where there's a bunch of socially awkward people, and we kind of just berate those socially awkward people on our podcast.
We do.
We do.
We're not
that.
socially awkward, though. That's the
That's
difference.
the thing. But I'm
a little.
we
bit
just have
socially
interest-
We
awkward.
just
that-
have to go where we have interests where the socially awkward people are. I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
I'm a little socially awkward. I can talk to people, but I don't like.
Yeah.
I don't like hanging around people because people are dumb.
Oh no, I mean what I'm saying is you're able to effectively and correctly communicate with people. You don't have to like. I fucking hate people. You don't have to like people.
Let's make that one thing clear.
But you're able to function
Yeah.
socially outside and not be all quiet. And,
Whenever
I cried my way into the tournament.
whenever I
It's like some Mortal Kombat shit.
whenever I have the chance and have free time of any kind,
You always have free time.
That's my last name, Peter Griffin. I always prefer to be absolutely alone and not bothered because I don't want to talk to people.
You gotta freaking concentrate.
I do 3 things in my life majorly. I do this podcast where I do nothing but talk. I do stand-up comedy where I literally am the only one talking for 10 minutes at a time. And I work a retail job where I consider myself, and it's the self-appointed title that I've given myself, the daytime bartender, where I do nothing but talk to motherfuckers all day. I don't want to talk to people when I'm not doing one of those 3 things. I'm okay with not saying shit.
Well, at my job, it's really great because while I'm traveling to and from locations, it's the quiet me time. And that's like I told the one girl who's
That's my ride anywhere. There
shares my office with me. I said, "Don't." She's new and like take her out with you, and show her the ropes. I said, "I'll do that."
Franz Ferdinand, get on that.
I said, "No." I
Who
said
did that song, right?
Franz Ferdinand?
Yeah.
Well, there was an Archduke who got shot, and that's what started
the band's
World War
name,
I.
Right, that's the band. Okay, so I was right on that.
Well, I didn't know that.
But I was like, "Listen, there are some days I'm just not gonna want to take you with me." I said, "And it's not you."
It's not you, it's me.
Yeah, but there's a ton of people who she can visit with, and she's a nice person, so she's met with a lot of people.
Cool.
Is right now, so she's getting her training, but at the same time, I was like, I just like to be alone. So, oh, here's a 45-minute drive to Greencastle. We're going to meet for 15, then drive for 45 minutes back. I said, yeah, nice quiet time.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Podcast time or something.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. I gotta catch up. I'm way behind on podcasts.
I'm way.
Which ones?
I'm
always behind.
I have
listened to a
yet-
shitload now. No.
I have yet to watch this week's Rooster Teeth.
Yeah.
This week's or last week's. I guess no, I did watch last week's. This week's Penn Sunday School and yesterday's Drunken Peasant because it was yesterday and we've been on the move practically all day.
Let's not.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started on Monkey Tuesday.
Oh, God.
I love that.
Yeah.
I don't know
I was
if I was going to listen to this week's one.
Yeah.
Hawk Falcon pens.
The Hawk Falcon?
Yeah, there's like they have a zoo. Just I think it's. I want to imagine their studio is gonna be like when they have a Good Morning America. Here comes the animal guy. Like, here's a baby goat. And
I'm
it's like,
Brian Fellows.
I've seen a baby goat. Like,
It's like the guy on the local news.
It's a dog.
Now, a lot of you may not know about this. There's a local news station that
here's a toad.
every so often.
Found him outside.
He's cool.
He ate my praying mantis. I had to do something.
Do you guys watch Channel 8?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a guy who's like
Considering how limited my options are around
Yeah.
here.
I have the same limited options as
he's
you.
the naturalist guy.
Yeah.
And he shows up and he's like, today we're going to be talking about some woman from I don't know.
She asks, I found this weird dog in my backyard. It's a llama. But it's
Yeah.
Have you ever seen those things like the Craigslist?
the Craigslist? Yeah, that's where I
found
got
this
that.
weird, really aggressive dog, and it's like a raccoon.
Yeah. Yeah. I've
There's
seen that one.
this dude.
It's really angry. Doesn't like
dude-
anybody.
Really, really loves his job because every time
Clearly.
he goes on, he's
He's
like,
got so much enthusiasm.
yeah.
It's all bullshit, honestly.
Michelle from Camp
somebody-
Hill asks, I found this strange raccoon in my backyard.
I think it's a cat.
It's like a chupacabra.
I just want to know
It's an
if there's
alpaca.
anything harmful
Right.
I should know about it. Does it have rabies? Well, Michelle.
Like, he's talking only to her
Yeah.
at this point. Like, everybody else tuned out. Well, it's not my question.
He's always got like several pages of paper in one hand. He's always like pointing out to the screen, to the camera.
yeah.
He's like, "Well, Michelle, raccoons can be dangerous, but sometimes they can be friendly. Just make sure you know the difference between the two."
Only handle them with gloves. And make sure it's not an alpaca. Because those motherfuckers, I'm telling you, they'll sneak up on you.
Alpacas,
Alpacas, they're out to
Alpacas.
get you.
And their
They're the
fur.
ones out to get you.
and their wool is nice.
It is.
There was a.
That's why they're so mean. They've got it. They know we want it.
I went to the King of Prussia Mall once.
They're like the ISIS. They're like the ISIS of the animal kingdom.
I went to the King of Prussia Mall once, and there was an entire
There was an
store.
alpaca.
There's an alpaca walking
He's just
around.
like
eyeing shit.
He's like looks around the corner. You're next.
He loads up that spitball. Alpacas spit, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
There's a store.
Llamas
in-
do.
alpacas versus emus.
Who would win?
They're both pretty angry.
They're
Yeah.
both pretty aggressive. Emus will fuck you up.
Yeah.
An emu, like,
Geese will fuck you up, for God's. I want to go
Geese will
like.
fuck
I want to
you
like.
up.
Oh, I had
the
an
teeth
Oh
on
my
geese.
god!
I
Have
had
you guys
some-
ever seen how big a swan is? Swans are terrifying.
I've never seen
Like,
that.
They're
had-
enormous.
I love
Swan.
ducks.
You know how big a swan is?
I love ducks.
This is a
Like
swan.
little ducks. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like even
They're a little aggressive at times.
yeah, but like, you give
But
them
you
their
just punt
food and
them.
they're kind of want to hang out.
'em.
You know.
Yeah.
Like they'll hang out. As I took pictures, there were two hanging outside a diner I went to, just standing in the lone pool of water. Like, well, it's water. I guess we can function.
They're fine as they are.
On the campus where I live, there's a pond there, and it's occupied by just a mass of ducks and
Oh,
two
really?
swans, and those swans will fuck shit up all the time. They do not like ducks at
I mean,
all.
they don't like ducks.
I had
Not duck people.
Well, hold on. They're sometimes
I'm
like
gonna let the cat out.
they'll just be around. There's this island in the middle of the pond, and that is where the swans occupy the space.
They're like
Occupy-
Korea.
Hashtag Occupy Swan Island.
Swan Island.
I actually.
Occupy.
This is a total different side topic, but I totally.
There's two. Abort mission. Abort mission.
I totally used the Occupy Ball Street while I was speedrunning the other day.
Really?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, the swans occupy Swan Island, and if
Yeah.
there are ever ducks that show up on that island, they
There's hell to
fuck them
pay.
up.
There's hell to pay.
They rip their feathers off.
Oh yeah.
They're brutal.
Have you seen the teeth on a goose
Oh,
or a
I
swan?
have. They're terrifying.
Ooh, it's vicious. It's vicious.
You wouldn't.
I wanted to take. I had some bread that it's like, oh, I left this in the freezer too
Oh,
long.
I'll feed the swans, but they
Yeah.
don't want bread. They want your blood.
No, I think I'll feed the ducks. But then you go to the ducks, and then, oh, look, here come
Here come
the jackass gooses out of nowhere. And I'm like, I'm trying to
Jackass gooses.
I'm trying to hand out bread to my little duck friends, and they're being cool. And I'm just trying to hang out. And here come the geese, knocking people out of the way.
Not even the ducks, actual people.
They're like the schoolyard bullies.
If they're like an 8-year-old in the pond, it was terrible.
And the swans got him.
It's horrible what they did to that girl.
Geese are so mean, though.
They are, yeah.
And even if you kick them, they don't stop. Like, they'll come back to you.
Come back with a vengeance.
This sounds like a personal
They're
experience
their
story.
friends.
It does. Well, my uncle, there's a rooster that he had. And
Oh, it's my uncle.
Rooster would chase. There's a funny dichotomy. The rooster would chase the cats. The big punk bulldog, that's the nicest dog ever, would chase the rooster. The rooster
And the cats would chase the rooster, or the cats would chase the dog. It was a vicious cycle.
And sometimes the rooster would chase us. It's like, oh, what do you do? I'm afraid of it. And it's like, no, here's you literally punt it like 25 yards, and then he'll get
It's
right.
a football.
It will get his mind right. People are like, oh, that's mean. That's animal abuse. I said, if he's gonna fucking attack your leg, you gotta shoo it off.
Yeah, it's animal abuse. It's not animal abuse if the animal's a fucking dick.
And you're not really kicking it. You're lifting it up with your foot and throwing it.
You're throwing it.
It's a bird. It's meant to fly.
Hold up. Pause.
I'm just kicking it back into the air.
Let's recap.
No, like you
Shut up. Hold on. I'm not kicking it. I'm throwing it with my foot.
Now let me explain. All right. So you have a pair of boots or something.
Okay.
Because you wear those often
love to hear this
when you
logic.
go over to his house because you would help cut lumber and stuff and be a working man for a little while. You catch him. He goes to attack you through your jeans or whatever. You put your foot underneath.
Sounds like a moment of stranger danger.
You put your foot underneath the bird,
Now, kids.
and then you just go floop and throw it in the air.
Is that the
It wasn't
sound,
like
is
it
that
wasn't
the
like I
sound
was-
you make while you throw a rooster with your foot?
I didn't wind up and punt it or anything. I wasn't lining up in the goalpost.
I want to know how you wind up for a kick.
Like you back up and you size it up and then you're like,
I need to be on the floor.
Casey's on the floor. Oh my god.
you point it out and you're like, yep. You point it up, top of that goalpost.
What is it? Are you fucking like Babe Ruth? Or you just pointing to the stands? That's where he's gonna go right there. That's it.
And then you do like a Jesus come to prayer moment and you back up and you kick it.
And then you get 3 points, and then you run over and you spike that motherfucker, and you do a little dance.
I can't get over. Oh god, it hurts now. I can't get over the.
Hey, cat.
That's the sound.
That only
Casey.
happened.
I don't know if you've ever thrown shit with your foot,
It only
but
happened.
that's the onomatopoeia to
Oh
a T.
Christ! Oh,
That only
I
happened
am
to
never gonna kick anything the same ever again without the skull.
Don't attack the peace logo, cat. Oh my god, give peace a chance.
That's fucking shit up.
maybe not. Just kick it.
The cat hated that peace sign. It was just dangling from the window, and the cat's no, fuck this thing. Just latched on and pulled that thing.
Oh god!
Oh my god.
You should just start throwing.
You gotta be careful though,
Give peace.
because you don't want to kick him and be like, kick him, because that's the same house where my cousin Sean would often hide out from authorities, because there was really
Did you kick him? Like, where does this story go?
there's really tall grass there.
Whoop! Well, I'm going to jail.
There's really tall grass there, right? And it's
The
like,
rat-a-tat all over the
no,
place.
yeah, tall enough that you
Speaking
can
of which, go on. I'll
tall enough
remind
that,
you where I was.
tall enough that you can sit in it and hide. So he'd be like, "Hey, you're probably gonna come looking for me for my warrant today. I'm just gonna make myself a plate of food, sit out here in the
Get
grass,
myself some
and
grits.
yeah, sit out here in the grass with a bottle of whiskey." And he'd sit out there for like 5 to 6 hours, doing nothing but sitting in the tall grass.
Just observing
Hey, they're gonna come for
nature.
me. I'm gonna walk into the woods for a little while.
Speaking of tall grass,
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys have not talked about Pokemon Go yet.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Oh my god. It's,
Oh, yeah,
it's
that other video
almost
game thing to talk
convincing
about,
me
though.
to get a phone.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool.
It's Pokemon on your phone. Except
It's virtual
it's
reality, sort of.
Pokemon
out
there, and you look. And
It'll
they're
give me
on
an
your
excuse
phone.
to get out of the house.
No, it wouldn't.
It wouldn't.
Do you think somebody's going to catch them all?
That's a good question.
Because
tell us
it's-
about the
it's
mechanics for those who
seriously-
don't know.
As far as I can understand, it's the same as the games.
Yeah.
Except you run into wild Pokemon just out of the blue,
Yeah.
and you kind of use your phone's camera and scan around, and it'll be there somewhere. And then that's I think it's just the normal game from there on out.
Yeah.
And you can battle each other, and you can trade, and blah 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 blah
Really
blah blah blah. It sounds very cool.
It looks like it'd be really fun.
What I really like about it is that the Pokemon are actually going to be split up into different areas
Yeah.
of the world. Like, you're not going to
All
be
right,
able...
guys, let's go to Wisconsin. That's
You're-
the only
it's
place
set-
we're gonna find Arbok.
Yeah, Arbok just wins. Wisconsin?
Just Kate Winslet.
Wisconsin.
That's
just
only-
Kate Winslet.
That's
has
why it's
all-
Wisconsin,
has
baby.
all the Arboks
And cheese.
And
and
boobs.
the cheese. They have the cheese in the Arbok. Where's we going with this?
I don't know.
I'm trying to find where the joke can go from there, and
I-
my
it
brain's
really
going.
didn't have
just-
anywhere to go.
My brain's
Is
just
this a
going.
new-
Just let it go.
Is this a new table?
Your
What?
your brain is just like
Table?
No.
fuck.
Alright, it's just not been in the kitchen for a while.
Why? What is enthralling about the table
Feels
that has you
new.
so thrown? Okay.
Get your beard off of the microphone.
It's gonna lick that later. Oh, beard.
Speaking of Pokemon,
yeah,
I'm started
yeah.
speed running Pokemon Sapphire.
That's true.
It's so much fun.
What makes it so much fun?
For now.
What makes it so much fun for
Gen
now?
4 sucks though, bro.
Gen 3.
Gen 3.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Which also sucks. But yeah.
To a lesser extent.
I like Gen 3 just
Right,
because
you're correct.
it was the first game.
Honestly, to a much lesser extent, in my opinion.
I played
Gen 3 was okay.
I played the games before Gen
First
3.
gens were amazing though. They had-
Second.
I played the games before Gen 3, but Gen 3 was the one I really got into, so that's
Okay.
why. It holds a special place in my heart.
Of course.
I don't care if it's bad or not. I
Of
like
course. Right.
No, it's fine. I have a special,
Fine
memory.
if you like water.
No, I have a special memory
it.
attached to
Water.
them too. I mean,
Yeah.
That's
so
why
do
your
I.
starter has to be water type.
Right.
games were got for me by my grandmother, and
Yeah.
grandma was like fucking second mom to me when she was alive. So there's
Yeah.
my special memory.
There
know?
you go. Yeah.
What's your memory? Let's share them together.
With
Gen 3.
Gen 3 in particular.
Sure.
Oh.
Yeah, nothing.
I remember I confused when the launch date for this the game was about 3 different times.
Yeah.
I kept telling my dad, "It's at Walmart today. Would you go get it before you
Oh,
come
I'm-
home from work?"
let me
and like
picture
3 times,
this.
it's like, "It's not out yet." It's like, "It's not out."
Let me picture this in my head.
Uh-huh. And I got the strategy guide along
That's a
with
lot
it.
of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I
it's
got-
very
well, I
cool.
got
I
the-
enjoyed
just-
looking through that.
Just
more than-
imagining Tab going through games.
Oh yeah. yeah.
What?
Is he Hank Hill now?
What?
What?
No, I mean, I was.
There's nothing.
I
I didn't have anything super special with.
Neutral.
That's cool.
With 3.
I did a test playthrough of Gold, and I found it was a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
can imagine the fun you're probably having with it.
Yeah, if
I
it's
have-
going back to that.
I have very nostalgic, specific memories of Gens 1 and 2.
Same.
That seems to be where it cuts
That's
off.
when everyone
Yeah.
was like in to the Pokemon craze.
Oh,
But
okay. Yeah.
I mean, you're only a couple years younger than me, so you
Yeah.
probably remember as well too.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like people were trading
They were
cards on the
insane about it.
playground.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff. And they're like, "Here,
I
what'd
had
you,
that dealing
what'd you
going
take
on.
for my
didn't.
Doduo?" I said, "I don't want your punk ass Doduo from the main set."
My best trade that I ever did was I traded an Oddish that was Japanese from the Team Rocket pack
Right.
before the Team Rocket pack was out in English
Gotcha.
for a Hollow Blastoise from
There
the
you
first
go.
set.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like, oh, fuck yeah.
I remember the video store that I remember when people rented video games.
No.
The video store that I went to, they had the Japanese versions of Gold and Silver.
Ooh.
They got them in just because people were that amped.
That's
Right.
actually
Yeah, because
really
it was delayed
cool.
for
Yeah.
so long.
It was?
Yeah.
Really? I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
It was delayed. They were announced in like '98, I think.
Well,
and
they,
it didn't come
uh,
out until 2000.
Yeah, they.
Oh.
I was watching.
I remember. I know that Japan had Stadium way before
and
we
it
did.
had
Yeah.
nothing but third level. It had like 77 Pokemon in it.
Really?
Yeah, it only had like level
was very
3 of the
different.
3.
Oh.
Like, it only had Blastoise, Charizard, and which
okay.
sucked because
That does suck.
even in the game, when you have used the rentals, the thing they make up for is the Gens 1 and 2 generally have a lot better moves.
Yes, the early
They had,
stages have the better attacks to make up for the shittier
Yeah, like
stats.
Kadabra has Psychic and stuff as
Thunder
opposed to...
Punch.
Yeah, and Alakazam was the...
Psywave!
Yeah.
You could go fuck your Alakazam.
Yeah, that's not even a damage move. That's like, what is it, one of those percentage moves?
No,
right?
it's not. It's a
Level
move that
or
either
something.
its power is like 60 or something like that, which is shitty to start
Mm-hmm.
with. But its damage then is either multiplied by 1.5 or half randomly. So it's either a power 30 move or a power 90.
It only
move.
ever hit power 30 for me, though.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Because why not just keep Confusion?
Or Psychic.
Or
Just get Psychic.
Yeah.
It's 90 all the
Best
time.
game, best move in the game. But, yeah, I mean, I there was that, and I remember I just watched, we watch them a lot, Brain Scratch.
Yeah.
I watched, they did a commentary of the first Pokemon movie.
Nice.
And it was like, they're like, no.
It got
they're
dark
like,
in that movie.
Yeah, like, no.
People died.
No, in Pikachu's Vacation, the shitty part.
People died.
It should have been called Togepi Goes on Misadventures. But it's like...
Wasn't that the one with Snubble and everybody was like, what is that?
Yeah. That and Peekaboo.
They
And
pulled one of those.
I will never not call him Peekaboo.
Yeah, they pulled one of those
That was
in the
the joke
recent
there.
movie.
They do that all the time.
With like this little green thing, and people are like, what is the little
We
green
actually know what
thingy?"
that is now.
We do know what that thing is.
Jirachi, the Wishmaker.
Yeah, they do that with every Pokemon movie
Mm-hmm.
just before a new gen comes out.
Yeah.
It's Lugia.
Yeah.
And then that
They do
movie
with
ripped off.
Lugia.
That movie ripped off.
Ocarina of Time,
yeah.
You're going to collect 3 things and use a musical instrument, which is an ocarina, to summon the big thing. Oh,
Johnny
no,
did-
the big
Johnny-
thing isn't what we thought the big thing
Yeah,
was.
Johnny did the joke. He's like, "Are you here? Yeah, okay, I can give you the mat." Like slow
King.
King. Are you
I
here
wish
for
I
the
had
Master
pants.
Sword? That's what you came for, right?
I wish I had pants.
Yeah.
That line, and right now I feel more like the Frozen one.
feel
Yeah,
more
I
like
remember
the
that.
Frozen one. I don't remember that.
Something
Wait,
Ash said,
yeah.
because he was the chosen one.
Of course
he was
he
on.
was.
He was on because he always is.
Good God.
That's why he's in a
The
coma.
third one wasn't that
Right.
bad of a movie, if I remember right. The
third.
That
Spell
one,
of the Unknown.
that was the one I actually
With
liked the
Entei and
best.
It was okay, yeah.
Yeah, that
I
was
watched-
a really adult story, actually.
was.
Out of
Yeah.
all of the movies I saw up to the Deoxys one.
Okay. I saw
Well,
that one too.
They edited it out. I think I talked about it before to you, definitely. But they edited it out of the Mewtwo. There was like an audio drama in Japan that was like Giovanni's daughter was trying to be saved in that lab too from something or other. So it's like her and Mewtwo were friends, but then Mewtwo watched as like all the other clones were killed off and injected into her. And then he's like, "What's this thing humanity's doing now?" And then she died, and it's like it becomes like a Shadow the Hedgehog thing where he lost his only friend. He's like, "I'm fucking killing all of you."
Yeah, for being a kids movie, it got like deep and existential.
Yeah.
People died.
People died.
That's all I have to say.
And then
about
Ash
it.
was turned to stone, and everyone's like, "No, just leave him. It'll be better."
Pikachu was crying.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, thick animals have tear ducts, but
People died.
you know,
It's been a long time since I've seen those movies. That's like all
We
I
gotta
got.
watch them again.
Okay.
There's, you can tell from the beginning when they're like, "Oh, we're gonna go to Mewtwo's Island. Who's gonna make it?" It's like, okay, that guy has a Gyarados, so he'll probably be okay. That girl, she has a Dugong, but she's a water trainer, so she's gonna make it.
she can
This
breathe
guy-
underwater for like
this
40
guy-
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy, like the worst people there were Ash. They took Team Rocket's boat.
I thought they took a Lapras.
No, he didn't get that till the Orange Islands.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
was
right.
later in the canon.
My continuity's all screwed up.
Oh yeah, and that I think right at the end of the Orange Islands, that's like they met. This is where I said fuck the TV show kind of.
Okay.
That's
I
what
mean, I
most
still-
people said.
No.
I know what you're...
So
I know
after
what
Johto
you're-
was where I
After
said.
Johto-
I
that
know what
sucked.
you're going to say.
Where they found like the nest with the baby Lugia.
Oh, no. But that is bullshit, yeah.
Yeah. What were you gonna?
I thought you were going to say... And then they introduced Tracy Sketches.
Oh, God.
Get the
Yeah.
fuck out of
They never found what was in the GS ball. Like we
No.
delivered it to Professor.
Yeah,
Hyde.
how dumb was that?
Yeah.
That was the MacGuffin to end all MacGuffins.
There's probably like.
Yeah.
There's probably like.
I just keep people
Like
guessing.
Arceus is sitting in it right there, and he's reality warp.
Celebi, actually. Originally,
That's what it's, well, he has his own movie, and that movie was okay.
in the
Yeah.
crystal...
It has a crank ball.
In the crystal version of Pokemon, I think it is, you can get the GS ball, and it just does fucking nothing for anybody. It was originally going to have Celebi in it. And they changed that.
That was
so
one of those
where
Nintendo had to give you the
gold, silver,
probably.
Yep.
I mean, I hated that. We're like, come to an official Nintendo event and get your copies of Mew and
about
Celebi.
4 hours from here. Or I could use the Game Shark.
There you go.
Fucking.
So I want to get back to this because I'm really excited about it. Me running Pokemon Sapphire.
Oh,
which is what got us on all this.
No, we'll just talk about all Pokemon too, man.
I wish
go for it.
Pants.
So, I wish I had pants.
My shorts are nice. I wish I had a belt. How about that?
I like shorts.
I like shorts.
They're comfortable and easy to wear. I hate us.
You can't jam out if you're a Pokemon trainer.
Fight me. I ran out of quotes.
You look
Smell
weak.
you
Come
later.
here and fight. Yeah, smell you later.
Smell you later.
I hate weak Pokemon. Weak. Oh, look, I'm Silver. I hate weak Pokemon.
Is that how he talks? Is he Slow King in disguise?
All right, Mr. Pretty Boy.
He wished he had pants.
You turned into Bing Crosby there for a second.
I'm Giovanni's son. Boo, boo, bee, boo.
Alrighty then.
That was revealed.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
I thought it was Red who was supposed to be Giovanni's son.
No.
Nope.
Red and their dad's never been revealed, so it's like, who's his mom philandering with?
Philandering?
Philandering.
She is diddling with everybody.
I remember at the very beginning, she's like, episode 2 or something, because I'll never forget the quote because it stood out to me.
His mom.
Yeah, no, she's like, if your dad were here right now, he would be so proud. It's like, is his dad dead? People died.
People died in that show. I don't know if you realize this. You know what the biggest complete cock tease of the Pokemon series was? Episode fucking 1.
With Ho-Oh.
With Ho-Oh. Yeah. And Ho-Oh was invented like 3 years later.
Yeah.
It's a shiny Fearow. What?
Yeah, no.
That's not pleasing to the eye.
Do you think they came up with Ho-Oh first?
Well,
and then put it in the first episode? Or they put this thing in the episode and realized, wait, this isn't a thing. We gotta make this.
I'm assuming.
No, it was definitely it already had been come up with.
Okay.
I was gonna say when Satoshi Tajiri or whoever submitted, this is like to the art director or whatever. Whoever
there was originally a lot more Pokemon.
Yeah, there was. I'm gonna say there's probably like a legendary bird included in there because we got 3 in the first gen to begin with.
It's confirmed that.
We just do a Pokemon podcast. This is great.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah. There's
Sapphire.
It's confirmed that
Tyranitar.
Ken Sugimori's original sketches. Were there's still Pokemon he designed that haven't been fleshed out.
Really?
Yet,
Oh, I'm sure.
In the original sketches that haven't been used yet. I think that like the latest one is Gen
like a
4 or Gen 5. There's a Pokemon there that was used in those original sketches.
No kidding.
So there's they have plenty of ideas. They just haven't used them.
It's better than this fucking ice cream cone Pokemon.
Well, some of them are filler and some of them aren't.
Yeah. I think that one's creative enough.
It's fine.
It's still like the worst one, but it's creative enough.
The worst one is clearly Voltorb.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say something else. But
the
you
gears?
said clearly.
Beverly clearly
I thought
Voltorb.
you were going to say Klefki. And I'm like, I like Klefki.
Klefki's fine.
Yeah.
No, Voltorb
It's
and
the
Electrode are
key
dumb.
Yeah. Voltorb and Electrode are not dumb for one crazy fact that took me years to realize. They are the mimic of the Pokemon world. Everything has its mimic. That's the fucking mimic. The thing that looks like the treasure.
Okay.
That's it. That's the one.
I
It had to be dangerous in some way, so they made it blow the fuck up.
I guess.
Okay, so Sapphire. I'm interested to hear this.
I do want to get to
what about
this.
Sapphire? Are you speedrunning Sapphire?
I am.
You know the 4th Pokemon movie.
Magic the Gathering.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
What's
That's what it was.
What's really interesting about running a Pokemon game as a speed run is how meticulous and detailed the strats are.
I'm sure.
It's really interesting. So let's start off at the beginning, and I'll go into a couple things. The first thing is, in order for you to have a passable run, you have to choose Mudkip, and you have to have what?
There's a reason, I'm sure.
Torchic is the Pokemon I prefer, but in order to complete the game better and faster, you have to use Mudkip.
Yeah.
You have to have a attack stat of at least 13, a special of at least 11, and a speed of at least 9.
Okay.
Now, generally, I'll be if there's one of those 3 stats that's down by 1, I'll keep going.
Of course.
But that's the ideal.
Okay.
You want the nature lonely or something else.
Okay.
You could probably sacrifice attack more than anything else.
Actually, no. Attack is the one you want the most.
Oh, yeah?
Really?
Yes.
I thought a lot of the moves it learns, though, aren't.
Listen, girls, we're talking speed runs.
We're talking
here.
speed runs.
I don't give a shit what you think.
Things are a little bit different.
None of that happens in a speed run.
Right.
So
I've seen people speed run Pokemon Blue solo Blastoise.
yeah, Blastoise and
do it.
Nidoran, or
Yeah.
Nidoking is what you want.
Yeah.
I can do it.
There are 4 Pokemon you want for Sapphire, and this is
Okay.
what makes it a little different and interesting.
Uh-huh.
You want Mudkip,
Yes.
you want Abra, you want...
Because of a crazy special attack or speed?
No, because of Teleport.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's
That's
so
true,
it's
yeah.
so hindering to get from certain towns back
Of
to wherever.
course, yeah.
You always want Teleport, because it'll take you right back to Mauville, which is in the center of the region.
Yeah, that's true.
So you always want that. You also need a Zigzagoon or...
HM Slave.
Yeah, for an HM Slave, and a Flyer.
And for pickup.
Flyer. Okay.
And for pickup.
pickup.
Pickup actually saved the run before for me.
No
Where
kidding.
where it picked up a nugget.
Ooh.
So I was able to sell stuff because I accidentally bought something I shouldn't have.
Oh.
We talked about it a little bit earlier.
That's
but
a run ender.
It
here's the
can
thing
be.
that bugs me about. Well, it started actually in Gen 2 of all things.
Okay.
With the electric types. But I hate in certain gens how it, like, railroads you into training one Pokemon. As, not railroad, that's the wrong word for it. But it, like, okay, you want to have a competitive electric type early on?
You clearly
Hope
need
you
this one.
fucking catch this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Hate that.
Yeah, because you need Electrike for sure for
Yeah.
Gen 3.
Do you?
I think
I
so.
don't think
so.
so. I never used them.
No, I always use them.
I usually just put Shockwave on something
That's true.
as an electric move and a sub-in.
Yeah, I don't know. I agree with both of you at the same time,
Right.
which is whatever. So
No, it's fine.
Or
It can
Thunderbolt.
work.
Get Thunderbolt.
here's some other stuff that
Who am I teaching
I'm
it
only
to?
doing partial runs at the moment. So here's the stuff I'm definitely familiar with.
Check Leon.
The second this is the most interesting thing. The second rival fight, if you choose
Yay!
Mudkip,
Yeah.
you're gonna fight against Grovyle,
Uh-huh.
and Grovile's a bitch
Okay.
because it has Absorb, and Absorb can kick the shit out of you.
Of course.
Because you ideally want to be at about level.
Let me whip
8.
out my type chart. Hold on.
You want to be at around level 18
All right.
against this level 20 Grovyle. And in order for you to beat it properly, you have to have those stats.
Okay.
You definitely have to have those stats. You need 1 Soft Sand, 2 X attacks, and 1 X speed.
That's how
You
this
need,
game works.
you need to have all those things so you can outspeed it.
Yeah.
You need to make sure you're at 1/3 health or lower so Torrent activates.
Uh-huh.
And that's the only. And then you use Mudshot twice, and that's how you consistently beat Grovyle. Because you beat Wailmer because Wailmer is the first Pokemon that May always has out. Since it has
Wailmer.
since
Oh,
it,
lame
you-
ass Pokemon. I got
Since
a
it
story
uses
then.
Splash, you use that. You take that chance to use
Up
the
your stats.
X attack and X
Yeah.
speed. Then you murderize it. Then Grovyle comes in. You use Mudshot number 1. It uses Absorb. Then you use Mudshot number 2 and knock it out.
Jesus. The people who come up with this are insane.
Yeah,
So
I know.
here's my story.
Wilmer.
I remember many, many
I
moons
remember.
ago, I was at a
21st night of
Kmart.
September.
Yes. I was at a Kmart flipping through a
Nah,
magazine
you were the
that said
Kmart.
something about Pokemon about
Right.
it. This is in between Gen 1 and Gen 2.
Okay.
This,
What did it say? It's the latest sensation that's sweeping the nation.
no, it did not.
They really
well, it
missed
probably did. It probably
really
did.
missed an opportunity there, Kmart.
Well, it had pictures of 3 Pokemon on it. Mind you, this is before Gen 2.
Yeah.
The Pokemon were Azumarill, Wailmer, and Kecleon.
Yeah.
And that was very confusing to me. Like, oh, these Pokemon are coming out. And then the game came out. It's like, these Pokemon aren't here.
Azumarill was there. Are you talking about Azumarill?
Azurill, yeah,
Yeah,
the
okay.
pre-form. Yeah, that came out in Gen 3.
Yeah.
That was
That was
unnecessary.
weird. That
Meryl
these Gen
sucks.
3 were...
Yeah.
I do remember seeing Kecleon very early in, like, maybe 2001.
It was on one of the episodes.
Yeah.
Before
But
Gen 3.
I went to the Pokemon.com website all the time
Yeah.
to play their games because I was cool like that. And they had a memory, like one of those constant... Well,
Memory.
Yeah, just
It's
memory.
called Memory.
I wanted to say
How'd you forget
concentration
that?
for some reason. Because I have a terrible one. And Kecleon was on one of the cards. I'm like, what is this thing?
Yeah.
I don't like it. Why don't I know what it is?
I love Kecleon. I think it's
because it has color
so
change.
Cool.
Right?
My first experience with graphic design and stuff like this was the
fuck.
They had Pokemon Art Studio red and blue discs,
What?
and I had those.
There's no way that's good.
No, it was fine. I mean,
okay.
they just had the different Pokemon. They sold them on different discs, and they weren't expensive.
Okay.
They just had different, like, you would be able to make a birthday card for somebody or something.
Okay.
People still have them.
Oh, okay.
Even back in the day.
Here's another thing that I remember.
You just put clip art and like paint and kind
before
of
Gen
stuff.
3 came out, because you know how when you were in elementary school they had those like paper pamphlets that had all the different books you could buy from
Yes.
Scholastic.
Yes.
I bought so many of those.
I did too.
Yeah.
I always bought the
I just
Pokemon
got,
drawing books.
Oh,
And
okay.
I remember that they had Gen 3 Pokemon in there.
Really?
Before the games came out. A ton of them.
No kidding.
And it was so far before Gen 3 came out that one of the Pokemon that was in there, Shroomish, they actually were like, we don't fucking know what they're calling this thing, so they just used the Japanese name for it.
That is pretty awesome.
It was Kinkoko.
That's really
I think
interesting.
they just like didn't care.
So do you think there was a malt Nintendo that went to Scholastic and was like, Luke, you gotta write this book.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scholastic.
You got this thing. Get in on this shit now.
Scholastic has money to hire a mole.
Right.
What universe do you live in?
Right when a new
They have
generation
Solid
comes out.
Snake in there, like fucking Gambinoing the books out of it. I don't even know what that means.
This is always how it is. Right before a generation comes out, it's like a Magic the Gathering pre-release.
Yeah.
Where it's like, guys, did you know this thing?
Hype
Did you
train's
see-
coming to town.
Did you see this picture of this thing that
Yeah.
was leaked?
Yeah.
See this thing?
I
And then
remember.
there's tons of speculation all over the board.
Yep.
Actually, come to think of it, I remember way back in the day, I would go to Comic-Con in the Chambersburg Mall. Now, they had, like, gaming magazines there, too.
Yeah.
And I got one copy of one, because it had Peekaboo, the lost Pokemon.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's your lost Pokemon?
It looks
That
like
Pokemon
shit.
sucks.
It was back in the days when
The internet didn't exist.
When the internet existed, but it
was-
just made shit up as it went
Yeah,
along.
it took 20 minutes to connect to a page.
Yeah.
Mom, get off the phone.
There was like,
I don't care what Aunt Betsy's doing.
but there were rumors of like 50 other Pokemon that just
Right.
flat out didn't exist. Back in the days when people would make up stupid
rumors.
requirements
Oh,
to
man.
get amazing things,
Let me
and it
tell
just didn't happen.
I
Oh, there
want
was
to
a
get on
great-
this topic
There was a
because
great old one from Ocarina of Time that I remember
Really?
from that. Yeah.
Oh,
there's-
about the Light Temple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that when it's like someone went into the game,
Yeah.
and they changed it, and like the a few eagle-eyed gamers volunteered to look at it and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like they put Link's sword on the wrong side and stuff. People hacked the cartridge to make this up. That's how fucking huge it was back then.
Yeah.
Why didn't he have the Triforce in what was the first game? Fuck you, timeline.
Yeah. I can tell you all about the timeline. I got a
Yeah.
book that'll tell me.
I saw it for
wanna look at
sale.
that
I saw
book
it for
at some
sale
point.
at Walmart actually.
Oh yeah,
So,
$7 or something. It's a good deal.
that's about how much.
so,
yeah.
So
a
I
good
want
book.
I want to talk about this.
Okay.
What?
Jimmy
is-
Kimmel?
What? No. Before
Well,
that, we'll get to
I
that.
wanna do that, yeah.
I want to talk about.
I don't want to go on too much longer, but I want to get on that.
Okay.
Sure, we can go on for a little longer.
We can, but I don't know.
I'm
I'm
here.
a little iffy.
And
But
it's
we'll
me.
do whatever. We'll just keep talking until we don't want to talk anymore.
Okay.
I just wanted to ask what was the one rumor that your friends told you all about?
Ooh.
That you were all over.
That you were all over. Or you had to find out if it was real.
man.
Because for me, I'll start because I brought this
yeah.
up.
Go ahead.
For when Halo 3 came out,
Okay.
one of my friends told me that there's like, because you know how unfriggin' believable was a thing in Halo 2.
No.
That was one of the when you're in multiplayer. I think it was getting 25 kills.
okay. Yeah,
without
yeah.
dying is unfriggin' believable.
Uh-huh.
They took that out in Halo 3, but my friend told me there were like a bunch.
They
of
replaced it with fuck.
yeah, fuck, you're hacking, bro. They just had he told me there were a bunch of different medals like that you could get, and he told me about one because you remember in Sand Trap, on top of one of those towers in the background, there's just an egg sitting there.
Yeah.
So he's like, that relates to a medal that if you throw a grenade, a sticky grenade, at a guy's nuts while they're crouching, and then you shoot that egg, you get a medal that says you just laid a golden Easter egg. And I believed him. I don't know why I did, but I was like, I must find out if this is real.
Yeah.
Right now, we're going to try this like 80 times.
One that I tried a bunch of times just to see if it was any accurate or not was if you, in Melee, Super Smash Bros. Melee, if you got 25, I think it was, 25 or more kills in Cruel Melee, it would unlock Sonic and Tails as like an Ice Climber style character.
Okay, I heard that too.
I tried that one and I beat the record and nothing happened. I'm like, well, fuck that then. There goes that afternoon.
I didn't hear Sonic and Tails. I heard Toad.
Toad?
Toad.
Oh, okay. There were like 7 or 8 characters like that they announced. Like that. Did you know? Not to sound like that.
Did you
know? Fuck. That joke's done now. It's over.
In 1998, Pokemon released it.
Did you know that Meowth was a cut character from the original game, Melee, and Brawl?
Wow.
Like, it was supposed to be a playable character, still not a character.
No.
Like, they're like, we can do... Nah, fuck that one.
They made him a summon.
Yeah,
they made
a
him
Pokeball character, yeah.
Mine is a lot older, I mean... Not a lot older than that, but one that I remember, like...
Is it about your favorite Game Boy game? Fucking Tetris?
No. It's about...
the lamest answer ever.
It might be about Ocarina of Time, just because there were so many... You said the Light Temple, but there were so many other things in there, too, about like getting the Triforce, or finding that, or something. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, if you go to Ganon's castle and you're able to throw a bomb directly into the center of the lava pit... Because there is a center, but that's just polygons being polygons, you know. And like a lot of people tried that, and I watched them as they posted in their online journals vigorously about how much they've tried this or tried that. Or I mean, I don't know if there was ever really anything that I personally tried that was like, but I was very much invested as everyone was trying to get all the secrets out of that game. I think it's been unlocked to death now.
Oh, the game, it's not... Once people figured out how to hack into a game, all of that was so easy.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you could tell everything about a game practically just by checking
Mew was
it out.
under the truck.
Yeah.
Mew was not under the truck.
There was a thing in Borderlands that people...
Go on.
Okay, no, I was like, what are you looking at?
There's a moth.
Yeah, there's a moth outside.
It distracted me.
There was...
He's still out there.
In Borderlands...
Casey, watch out. He's looking at you.
In Borderlands...
Might as well be an alpaca. He's got a lust to kill.
In Borderlands, somehow my friend and I figured out a way to... To fling ourselves outside of any map. In the entire game. I don't remember how we did it.
It's called a catapult.
Yeah.
Well, no, it was a gun that was able to just shoot you forward because it was a modded gun.
Oh, okay.
That you could mod on your computer and put into the game.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So if you were shot with this gun, it would fling you out way out of bounds.
We call it the Men in Black.
What?
Because he had that gun, that little tiny gun.
Yeah.
The noisy cricket.
Yeah, that's the one.
It'll get wicked on you, he said in the rap.
That's the one.
Jeez.
I remember, too.
Hold on.
I don't think he finished his.
I'm
sorry.
It would fling you way out of bounds.
Yeah.
You'd fall forever, and then you could see the map above you.
Yeah.
But right under you, there was this weird box. It was weird. It was like it looked like a Twinkie. It was white and it looked like a Twinkie, and everybody called that Pandora's box. It was under every map in Borderlands.
Okay.
Nobody has any idea what it does, but if you fall into it, it's just like an infinite place that you just walk around and you can't die.
That's a little interesting.
It's weird.
I wonder if that's there on purpose, just to be this weird thing.
Yeah, it's under every map. We checked.
Huh.
It's so strange. I don't know what it is.
That's pretty cool.
It might be a test thing.
Probably.
I don't know, but yeah, it's weird.
I don't know. All that test stuff is what spawns a lot of these rumors.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of creepypasta.
Lots of like I went to the ones like when I was playing Elder Scrolls Morrowind on the computer. They have rooms you can go to and like beta rooms where you can sell and get great equipment and all this kind of stuff. But I also remember another two.
Yeah.
These were legendary.
Lay them on me.
L is real.
Oh, yeah.
From Mario 64.
Oh, right, yeah.
That and perhaps the most legendary of all. Is there a way to bring Aerith back to life?
Oh, that's like the granddaddy of them all.
Yeah. And there's a way you can hack the game. You can hack the game and do it, but why?
Yeah.
Why? You know?
It's like an emotional thing. Like, what's the point, really?
Yeah.
Did it really bring her back? Or
From
is it just a shell?
I never played Final Fantasy VII, but from what I heard, people found that out, when they got to that part of the game, they just like...
No, this can't be.
Really? No.
There's a few moments that have left me like that.
Didn't she turn into a swan?
They had to just stand. They just had to like stop the game and just sit.
She's lowered into like the water, and the thing you need to actually save the world that was around her neck the whole time.
Yeah,
it falls off and into the abyss, and you have to go get it.
Oh no!
But I never really.
What if everybody was really just upset about that thing and not her?
Yeah.
Like, no, this can't. Not the thing around her neck.
Not the thing.
Maybe I'm jaded because I didn't play it till way later, but I haven't even finished the game yet. But I know that it doesn't. Yeah. It's just good storytelling to me.
It is.
Some of that can happen.
Makes you wonder what the remake's gonna.
It got an insane response, and that's what they wanted.
It absolutely is.
Yeah. And it's a lot of people's. I mean, I don't think it's the best Final Fantasy.
I know. I've never played any Final Fantasy.
You might like 6.
I've played 4 and 10, and that's it. Right. Those are the good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. 4's good.
4, 6, 7.
9's good. 10. I like 8, but that's 8's. Whether 8 is a good game or not is debated every day on various forums.
But you got Pretty Boy Squall with his gun sword.
Yeah, but it's a pretty good story too, I'd argue.
Yeah.
But
I know nothing about it, so I have no place to argue.
Speaking about video games.
I almost forgot we were going to bring this up.
Yeah, go for it.
Well,
Jiminy Kimmity.
We
had each addressed it in our own way. I mean, we're addressing it now.
Yeah, Rolls and I talked about this for like an hour one night.
Yeah.
So here's the story. Jimmy Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Codename Jiminy Kimmity.
Jiminy Kimmity, as Erica would call him. He did a skit about Let's Players, what's up with them? And did like, oh, what is this thing? I don't get it. And it was the sketch was fine. Like, I don't want to feel offended by it.
Right.
Yeah, because that's what he wants.
But a little piece of me is.
He doesn't want that.
Because it was, of course not.
It's just views.
Yeah.
Because those are his most viewed videos,
it was,
too.
I just don't think it was done well.
Yeah.
In my opinion. Although he did take my joke that I wanted to do a video of a let's play.
Oh yeah.
Where it's people talking over a video game, and I actually thought that was actually
it's like a
good
director's
funny
commentary.
video
It's
that he did.
basically the response of people who don't understand the new medium, which is okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, I dealt with it. Hey, I dealt with this in my senior year. I was talking to one of my college professors. He said, "You're into games, right?" You know, and I'm like, "Yeah, definitely." They're like, well, what's the deal with it? Stuff on the internet, like his son. He said my son was watching it, and he's asking me, as a research colleague, for lack of a better word, about what's going on. And I told him, here's the deal, kind of, and it's not that far fetched of an idea, really. I mean, Mystery Science Theater everyone knows about that show,
exactly,
and people know it, and
it's just a similar thing with video games.
Riff on it, yeah, but I don't. The way it was presented to me, and I watched a little bit of it, was like, people are unnecessarily being offended.
I don't think so in this case.
Not unnecessarily. That's the wrong word.
I think the people who do Let's Plays, like Rooster Teeth and Markiplier, they were offended by it.
Because I understand if they were.
It put them in this light that is nowhere true what their representation is.
Put them in a very closed-cut category.
Yeah. It was it was the stereotypical thought process of somebody in their late 30s or early 40s or however old he is.
Yeah.
Where people who play video games are nerds in their mom's basement all day.
Yep.
Who have no social life, so why would people want to watch these people? And that's the vibe that I picked up from it.
Mm-hmm.
And
that sounds pretty well eloquently. I kind of voiced it like that.
I didn't want to think much of it.
Right.
Because
that means they win.
No, because I don't want to be offended by something so easily like that.
Yeah.
Especially since I don't really do it.
Because it also is too easy.
Right.
It's too easy.
So he did a follow-up kind of segment with Markiplier and some chick I've never heard of.
Yeah.
Where he sat down with them and they watched a Let's Play and then they quote-unquote did a Let's Play. And it was done in your stereotypical late night show segment kind of deal where he walks into a room and they're both, sitting there and they're like, oh, Jimmy Kimmel, what the fuck ever. And they did their thing and Jimmy Kimmel's making these jokes, the whole way through the segment. It's the same basically fucking thing that was in his thing that pissed people off in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Was it a I'd really prefer if you'd be quiet moment? Do you guys know? Do you know about that?
No, I don't, but I can guess what it's talking about. Probably not.
Okay. There was a game that was played in AGDQ 2015, I think.
Okay.
Or 2014.
Yeah.
That was it was a game I'd never heard of.
Okay.
But it had a guy on the couch who didn't run the game, knew nothing about it.
Yeah.
But just kept saying things.
Okay.
That had nothing to do with anything.
Yeah.
Just making jokes for the sake of making jokes. And the guy who was running was just like, I'd really prefer if you'd be quiet. And he didn't say a thing for the rest of the run.
That's pretty funny. No, it was not like that.
Okay.
But it was the kind of thing where Jimmy Kimmel was like, so Mark, how many fans do you have? And he's like, well, we just broke 9 million a couple days ago, which was pretty good. Did you ever sleep with any of those 9 million people?
What?
It's like, and Mark really looked like no, no, they're my fans. Like that.
Mark's the wrong person.
Tremendous disconnect.
Mark's the wrong person to try to do fan jokes with.
Yeah,
yeah.
He really loves his fan base.
The idea, the whole thing about the segment
they make him cry.
Was that Jimmy Kimmel's like, I don't get what this thing is, which was the segment in the first place, honestly. Yeah. Except now he's actually in it with people who know what they're doing. And they were like, he's not getting what this is. And he's like, I don't get what this is. But he was all, jokey and jovial about it, which just was very off-putting, in my opinion.
Right.
And it ended with essentially seeming like Jimmy Kimmel learned nothing out of the whole ordeal. And he hasn't said anything else about it, so I think he realized kind of, in the segment, it was off-putting. But I really think he realized that... it wasn't what he thought it was, and it was a little bit deeper, and it's not something you should distastefully poke fun at.
Yeah, and when you upset people on the internet,
oh yeah,
they go into tirades.
Oh, he mentioned that too.
Yeah, he made a video where he responds to all of these different comments that people put on his video.
Yeah,
yeah, because Matt Pat of Game Theory talked about this whole thing.
Yeah,
he made a whole video about that.
Right. I should watch that.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's very biased.
No way.
Much like a lot of his videos are.
Yeah.
But it's good.
Okay.
It pretty much addressed the points that you were trying to make. That he's doing it because it's what's popular.
Of course.
It's a thing to rat on.
Yeah. But he just didn't do it well.
No.
At all, in my opinion. Here's what pissed me off.
Go ahead.
And it's not Jimmy Kimmel.
Okay.
It's Adam Carolla. Jimmy Kimmel's best friend for, they're best friends for one thing.
That's because he's fucking awesome.
What pissed me off about Adam Carolla, I listened to his podcast completely on a whim and selected, the one from 3 weeks ago on a complete whim. And he talked about, what Jimmy Kimmel was going through. And his response was kind of the tone that offended me about Jimmy Kimmel, except instead of it being a tone, it was outright said, these fucking nerds in their mom's basement. Why are they ratting on Jimmy Kimmel? Don't they know that they're doing something that means absolutely nothing to society? And I have not listened to Adam Carolla since, and have no desire to listen to Adam Carolla since.
Really?
Because, I will eventually.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm gonna go. You're way off base, and like I think I said to you, it was really an old man Carolla moment of I don't get it. It must be bad. Fuck everybody involved in this.
Yeah, that seems to be the consensus with a lot of stuff with people who get to be in that age.
Yeah.
And they see a new thing and they don't understand it, so it must be bad.
I said Jimmy Kimmel was very off-putting, from that segment, Adam Carolla and his views and the way he expressed them
just
was
blatant.
insanely off-putting.
Yeah.
And he showed a segment like, this is what these nerds are like. And then he showed a segment from I don't remember what show he did with Jimmy Kimmel. Did he ever do a show with Jimmy? Was that him and Jimmy Kimmel at one point? Oh, I didn't know that. That's probably what it was.
Kimmel for the first 5 seasons.
Oh, okay.
It was way long ago.
Oh, okay. They showed a clip from that show where one of the Star Wars movies was coming out. I think it was the 4th one, the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
And what their joke is that they were going to be like know-nothing Star Wars people, but completely decked out in like a Star Wars shirt that they had no idea what the reference was. And it was a pretty clever thing, but what they were going to do was go up to all the other Star Wars fans in the super long line that they've been waiting for days and be like, hey, you guys are waiting for the movie? Cool, that's great. And they just slowly saunter their way up to the front of the line and just jump in the front of the line. And there was one dude who wasn't having it, and he was the focus of, like, he didn't think it was funny. He didn't get the joke, and he was a twat over it, obviously. Yeah. But he was like calling police, like, you got to get these guys the fuck out of here. And Adam Carolla was using that as, this is what all of these people are like. And it's like, fuck you, dude. Like, I like the Ace Man, but fuck you. You know?
Yeah.
It was.
That's a shame, but that's kind of his nature. He bitches about everything.
Yeah, but he was just so wrong. As somebody who's in the scene and watches these things and knows the people, it's just wrong.
I'm gonna devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
He does that about everything. So do you think he's off base about everything he bitches about?
No.
But
I know this thing.
Yeah.
And he's wrong.
But what about other things that you don't know about that other people do know about that he bitches about? I don't know
about it, how can I form an opinion one way or another? Okay. I guess is my retort to that.
I'm just tossing that out
Usually
there.
I will side with him on things because I'm usually pretty easily swayed on stuff. Like if somebody presents me with a good argument, I'm just practically automatically on their side.
Okay.
And then somebody can present a better argument and I'll swing over this way.
I'll try to form an example.
So if there's only one side to an argument that I hear, that's the side that I'm on.
Let me try to form an example. Let's say, just for the sake of anything,
you gotta fight for my opinion.
I'm waiting to unload here too.
Yeah.
You are not the biggest fan of the people who live around here, i.e. rednecks.
Rednecks, right.
What if somebody was like, well, you're wrong about rednecks because they're totally fine and acceptable people, and you're totally off base about it.
They are totally fine and acceptable people. In some regards.
Okay.
A lot of them. Oh God, I don't want to say this. This is like a stereo. I was about to go like as stereotypical as possible.
Okay.
Like I don't like what they stand for in about 95% of things that they stand for. I think most people would agree, sadly, and I hate to say this because it's not true in every single case.
Yeah.
They're not the smartest people.
We're getting all those out of the way. We're just talking generally here because that's what this issue we're dealing with is. That's what I'm saying. You can say whatever because we know what you mean.
So let me wrap back around.
Okay.
Your statement was, if I say that rednecks aren't the best people, the best group of people, and somebody says that I'm wrong about it, okay, here's the difference. The video game Let's Play thing, I say Carolla is wrong because I've experienced it and I've been in it.
Okay.
Your specific argument in this case is invalid because I have also experienced it and been within it and realized this is fucking dumb. And by within it, I don't mean I was that. I mean, it's been around me.
Yeah.
I have also experienced this thing, and I know it's not the best way to live, in my opinion.
The only reason I asked about that is because I know you side with him on just about everything else.
A lot of things,
So I was wondering what the difference was. It was just that you knew that.
The difference is that he didn't know what he was talking about.
Okay.
That's the difference. He has no idea what this is.
Okay.
Do you
think there are other times like that?
It was in his news segment where fucking the new chick, I can never remember what her name is, Gina. I always want to say Allison. It's not Allison anymore.
She's not our new
Gina
best friend
was
anymore.
the one who brought this up and said Jimmy Kimmel was in hot water over the internet over these statements. And his statement was, oh, these fucking nerds. You don't really know what he said or the context or how accurate his statement was in the first place. But it turns out it wasn't, in my opinion, very accurate.
Right.
And it was, I didn't like it.
Go on, Rolls.
Rolls is ready to go over here.
He's all hunched up on the mic.
All right. Here's what I said in my video, and I just talked about it in a part of my Final Fantasy VIII playthrough that was put up about 2 weeks ago.
The gamer.
Yes, sir.
Some links.
Thank you. I understand people being upset about it. I really do. But at the same time, I'm not giving it, the way I said it is like, I'm not giving it any time. Like, I don't have...
You don't care.
The way you should look at it is you don't have to worry about what this person thinks.
That's true.
I've been in that my entire life, man. Every fandom, like, the metal community, here's a really good example, the Juggalo community.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It's like, it's constantly looked down and made fun of, and you gotta be able to fucking deal with it and not take it personal.
Here's why I'm more upset about it. It's opposite of what you're thinking. You're looking at it as this is the community. People don't know what it is, so you don't need to listen to her opinion. I agree with that.
Right.
I agree with what you're saying. I have more of a grievance that somebody that I like and respect as a comedian, as a podcaster, as a whole bunch of things. Adam Carolla was a giant dick to something that I care about and was just flat out wrong. And that's what kind of hurt. That somebody... Imagine if you were walking down the street and saw somebody you're a huge fan of coming the other way, and they kicked a fucking dog. Mm-hmm. That would kind of lessen your opinion on that person, and that sucks, because you really like that person.
That's why they say don't meet your idols, because they're usually dicks.
Right. Well, my counterbalance to that is... for example, I've been listening to metal and stuff basically since I was like 11 or 12.
Uh-huh.
And throughout that entire time, that stuff's been going on.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I will listen to someone and they'll be like, people I do respect will get it, like, especially, well, the Juggalo thing's a better example. But people especially will be like, that I do respect will talk about it, like, because it's the thing, like, it's existed since 1990. You know what I mean? Like, it obviously isn't going anywhere or, like, subsiding just because so-and-so, you know what I mean?
Right.
So my whole argument is, like, I understand why you have a personal grievance with it, but for the community in general to give it this much time, it's just giving the views and the comments that...
That's internet people bitching.
It's just giving the views and comments that need to be put on the site to be put on the site.
Yeah.
The best thing to do is, and I know this is hard for people to understand, but just leave it alone.
Ignore it.
Yeah.
If someone offends me, the best thing to do is stop talking with them, and then
you guys remember.
It might not be tomorrow. It might not be a week from now. It might not be a month from now. It might be 5 years from now.
Yeah.
They're going to. I wonder whatever happened to.
That's what I was about to say. And you guys remember the Jersey Shore?
Yeah.
And how everybody hated that thing? It's gone. You know why? Because nobody cared anymore.
I actually kind of
nobody looked.
I like the show.
People stopped watching
for a few seasons. They're like, let's send them to Italy, and I was like, no, it's not.
Oh yeah, that's where they jumped the shark.
Yeah, that's where they did for me.
Not the part where the guy threw a chair out the window just because.
No, I understand your grievance. Fortunately, I didn't hear that episode.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I feel like I can't just ignore it is the wrong way to say it.
Yeah.
But it's like, that's basically the most adult thing to do. Mm-hmm. Because you're complaining on his videos isn't going to get him to change what he's saying.
Well, exactly.
You know?
Well, I feel like
he has a team of writers that write this for him.
With Jimmy Kimmel, his mind was changed a little.
Well, if there's such a massive outcry against it...
He took it a little... Yeah. He was off base, like you were saying.
It's like when John Lennon...
The fact that he did a follow-up segment shows that he was at least wanting to try to make an amends somehow. And I don't think that he did, but I think it's a good place to leave it lie.
Right, because Adam Carolla was blatant about it and just like kind of threw it out there.
And he probably wouldn't change his mind on it now if you asked
probably
him about
not,
it.
no.
Yeah. If he did an interview with Markiplier, he would probably say, "What you do is stupid." You know that, right?
Yeah.
I would say probably he wouldn't say that because that's bad.
Not
pod.
outright. Yeah, no,
that's
but
bad pod.
Yeah.
And
he would do.
Bad pod.
Well, Mark would say, but
Mark could actually put up a pretty compelling.
Yeah, he would.
case
Yeah,
for
he
it.
would. He's like, but I've changed so many people's lives. I feel like Adam Carolla would do that thing. Yeah, but and then just go off on something.
He'll do the.
No, he does that when he's right on something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Carolla sniff. But he'd do that thing where he's like, yeah, but, and then just go off on something that may not be on base.
That's where Dr. Drew is.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Drew is his conscience and like, soul.
I believe that.
You know?
Yeah, definitely.
I like Carolla, but he's just a facts guy, and he can't.
I can easily imagine how a Adam Carolla and Markiplier video interview would go.
Yeah.
So you call yourself Markiplier on the internet.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell me about your fan base? Well, I've helped so many people, and I've helped them all.
Yeah, I know you've helped people, but what are you doing in the physical world, really?
Well,
I mean,
I used to go.
You have all this stuff in a database somewhere, probably in in a basement somehow.
Well,
but
I used to be in engineering school, and
right,
I spent my last amount of money.
You know what you could have done with that rather than this. You know,
I'm just saying that.
I get what you're saying, but you're obviously a smart enough person to be engineering. You could be doing both, right? I mean, you could.
Just doesn't give him a chance to talk.
You could be building computers for you to play your video games on with your 9 million whatever fucking people. And it just bothers me that what you're doing now with your life and the amount of money you make. If I went home and I fired up Pong on the Atari 2600, I don't think I could get 9 million people watching me. But I wouldn't want them to. I would want them going out and doing something with their lives rather than spending 30 minutes not with me, with me. You get what I'm saying, right?
What just happened there?
I don't know. I just kept talking.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you to stop.
Here's what
are you doing? I stopped pretending
How
a
far
while
off
ago.
do you think that was, though?
Not too far, probably.
Yeah.
I think here's what the thing that I
I
think
can't wait to listen to that.
that
Yeah.
a lot of
That was a little scary. I thought you were
older-
actually changing opinions there.
that a lot of older people, and especially in the entertainment
fun.
scene, might not understand about it.
End scene.
Yeah.
I'd say that.
I wanted to keep him from.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
I think what a lot of people in the entertainment scene don't understand about it is it's a guy and a personality and a microphone. It's not
Yeah.
a measurable
Wouldn't you
comedy you're Jim Gaffigan or you're
Yeah.
Patton Oswalt. These are your ticket sales. These are your
My Jim
That's your
Gaffigan
Jim
impression.
Gaffigan.
these are your ticket sales
You
numbers.
gotta wave
These
your
are-
head back and forth a little bit.
These are your ticket sales. These are
Yeah.
your comedy. You're a band. Here's your CD sales and all this. And views, and you're getting paid because people are watching. It's like there's so many new concepts that I think people can't wrap their head around at once.
Despite the fact
You would
that I think
though, what you said in the beginning, it's
I
a
think they
guy
compare-
in comedy and a microphone.
Yeah.
Don't you think out of all the people, Carolla would be the one to understand that more than anybody else?
he doesn't
Video
look. He
games,
probably
though.
doesn't
That's
look
the-
at
Well,
it.
that's true.
on
That's
that.
the point that
That's
throws
the
him
thing.
off.
Yeah, he
That's
probably
his
doesn't
main
look
focus.
at it like that on that
You're
level.
absolutely correct. And that's the
He
point
doesn't
I
see it
should have
like
made
that.
from the beginning, is that none of these people are looking at it like this. They think people are watching people play video games. They ignore the people.
Yeah.
Right.
They immediately focus on the video games, and they don't fucking get it.
Like my mom, for example, is very. I know.
Yeah,
Is very progressive.
No,
with
we're
that stuff.
going.
The
We're
only
fucking
thing.
trucking all night.
The only thing she doesn't like is Grand Theft Auto, just because of how off the wall it is.
I can understand
But
that. I don't
as-
like Grand Theft Auto.
aside
I love
from
Grand
that,
Theft Auto.
It's too much of things. It's a lot of things I don't like in video games. I don't like violence for the sake of violence.
Yeah.
And I don't like sandbox games. I fucking hate sandbox games.
That's interesting.
It's too free for me.
I love it for the plot. Their plots are so good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Their story building and character development is incredible.
I am absolutely sure.
In 5, they have a scene where, like, you're torturing somebody, and it's very, to people who are not into, torture, it's very...
I don't think anybody is, really.
You don't? It's very...
Yeah, I take that back immediately.
It's very off-putting, because, like, you're using, I forget even what it is, like a hammer or something on somebody, and, it's a very surrealistic experience, so... Yeah. I like the Grand Theft Auto. I mean, there are worse examples of that.
I just wanted to point out that she's very...
That's a good example for people being outraged at games, though.
Yeah, right. She's very okay with... Well, that's like what everybody goes to anyway.
Yeah.
She's very okay with any sort of video game at all. Like, when I first told her about live streaming, she's like, well, if it's something you like, then that's fine.
Right.
Like, you're doing something...
the mindset
You're doing something productive. With your time.
Exactly. Yeah, but you see...
I want to point out 2 quick things.
Oh, it's got to be real quick.
Oh, yeah, it will be.
Why is like an hour and a half this rigid-ass time limit?
Well, it's not that it's an hour and a half. It's that I have work tomorrow morning, and I'm trying to
that's fine.
Get everything together.
I'll make it real quick. Yeah. Number 1, remember the Angry Birds...
It's getting late around here.
Remember the Angry Birds movie that Rooster Teeth put out?
Yes.
That video? Now it's a thing.
It's a thing?
There is actually in production an
Angry
Birds movie coming out in 2016.
Is it a tie-in with fucking Battleship?
They made the Minions movie, and now all bets are off.
Yeah, pretty much. And they tried to make it exactly in that format.
Do you think
too.
You think they're going to do something like the Marvel movies?
There's like
a teaser.
Angry
to
Birds.
The next one
Angry Birds
end.
will be back in iPad.
No. At the end of the movie, there's like
back and cut the rope.
There's like a Candy Crush teaser.
Yeah,
it's like
cut the rope.
No, it's just a creeper that turns around and stares at the camera for 10
not
seconds.
A bad idea.
And the other one is
yes, it is a bad idea.
You're right, it is.
The other thing is today.
I've seen some really cool Minecraft machinimas though.
September 26, 2015 is an important day.
Yes.
In public domain history.
Yep, because of the Magic the Gathering pre-release.
Exactly.
Yep,
also, Happy Birthday is now in the public domain.
Isn't that great? That's fucking amazing.
It's about time.
What do you sing to the Happy Birthday song on the anniversary of it being written?
The Happy Birthday song?
What did you sing before that?
I don't know.
Nothing. There was no joy anywhere.
There's an incredible video by this YouTuber called Viheart who talked about how weird Happy Birthday is just as a song. For example, it wasn't the song itself that was under copyright, it was the lyrics. The lyrics were copyrighted.
No way.
The tune was public domain.
I wish I had known that. I would have totally rewritten Happy Birthday.
So you could feasibly have like a
Happy day of birth to you. That's enough of a difference, right? It's parody. It's parody, so it's under free use.
Congratulations on your first period to you.
I don't know if anybody sings that.
Congratulations on your first period to you.
And everyone in the house is just really confused and doesn't know where to go from there.
The blood is coming out of your conglomerate. Rewind.
I wish we could end it on that.
We can.
I know. I want to bring up.
Hit it. Let's go.
And that is that
rock and roll.
In the middle of the Happy Birthday song, it changes key signatures for one measure.
You're right. It does.
It's so weird. It's 3/4 and then 4/4 and then back to 3/4 again.
That is a little strange. Somebody who thought of that didn't know music.
Well, it wasn't originally like that because the lyrics were different.
Oh, really?
But it changed into this because apparently the 2 people who made the song were like, we're just gonna go around to like children and in like schools and stuff and just sing variations of this song and see which one they like the best.
Interesting. So they merged 2 together?
Yeah.
Wow.
So the original was "Good Morning to You."
Oh, okay.
Good morning to you or whatever.
Yeah.
And when the Happy Birthday one came along, since people had to put in the name of whatever,
it got special.
It got changed to account for the name thrown in there. You had to change.
I was thinking of why Happy
Birthday
Birthday stuck in the first place.
Yeah.
I thought because it was personal, people found it more enjoyable than other versions that they were trying to pass on.
That's how it was at first. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, very cool.
Anyway, so yeah,
very cool.
Sing a happy birthday wherever you want. Now you don't have to put up with those dumb sit down restaurants whenever they say, "Oh, it's my birthday, let's go."
Happy birthday to you.
Shut up.
Our song was written in about 30 seconds. We actually had a meeting before we came out about what we were gonna sing, and this is the best we came up with.
Say goodnight, everybody.
Mahalo.